Hey y'all, it's Jenny, and yeah, I'm looking all kind of rough, crazy here. I'm having a bad skin year, period. Not even a skin month, but a skin year. So yeah, I think this is gonna be, I'm gonna post this on a new channel. I'm gonna post this on a new channel because my other channel, my children have access to, and some of the subject topic lines might come off, it might hurt their feelings, or if they, you know, my two youngest aren't going to really care, but my oldest right now at her age, she's, you know, very, very mature and very sensitive and all that other stuff. So this will probably be going up on a new channel. So let me introduce myself. I'm Jenny. I'm 30 years old. I have 3 children between the ages of 2 as of 2013. I have 2 children between the ages of 2 and 9 years old, and I am a single parent. I'm not married. All 3 children have different babies' fathers, and yeah, so that's something that I don't like to say out loud, but I want to give you at least my perspective. I am not having any more children. I don't plan to get married at this point. I'm not dating or actively dating or anything like that. And I've been through a lot with all 3 of my children, both physically as far as their health, going through their babyness, toddlerness, pre-tween, teen, all that stuff. Well, then, you know, I'm not exactly to the teen yet, but, you know, going through all that, things happen and experiences and how I've dealt with it and all that other stuff. So that's pretty much what it's going to be about, just my life in general as a parent. I do have another channel that's beauty related. If you're interested in that a little later on, I will post that link down below. But the topics we're going to be talking about today can be pretty gruesome in the sense of emotionally. They're really hard for me to talk about. I did this video a couple of times over the past 2 to 3 months, and I find myself being exhausted and not wanting to post the video because I feel all the emotions that I felt then kind of come flooding back in, and it's just really, really hard for me. But I noticed that when I was trying to find videos about legal advice and about, you know, dealing with a parent that's nutball or dealing with a parent that's not involved or not as involved, I didn't find a lot of videos because a lot of people, it's a really touchy subject and it could rub people the wrong way or rub people the right way, and this might piss a lot of people off. So I don't know. And this is how to deal with a parent, a non-custodial parent. That's the parent that does not, this is legal jargon, so you'll hear me talking a lot of legal jargon. That's not the primary parent, that the child does not stay with you. This is legally the non-custodial parent. How to deal with a parent in general, but the usually non-custodial parent that is under the influence of alcohol, drugs, both, either or, your choice. And more precisely, more specifically, functioning alcoholics or functioning drug addicts. And what that means is this person can walk normally, talk normally, and be higher than the 4th of fucking July because they just been high and intoxicated for so long. Their tolerance and their ability to handle their booze, their crack, their cocaine, their marijuana. I'm not saying marijuana affects marijuana in combination with other stuff, marijuana laced with other stuff. I'm not a marijuana user. I'm not necessarily against it. There are a lot of people that do it, as long as it's not around the children, as long as it's in the privacy of your own home and it's not out in public and you're making an ass out of yourself, as long as it's in the privacy of your own home, not around the children. And if your spouse doesn't like it, not around your spouse. But that's neither here nor there. I don't smoke marijuana. I don't smoke cigarettes. So yeah, but like cigarettes or marijuana. But yeah, this is a sensitive subject. Pretty much, I'm going to give you a backstory. Try to give it really quick of what this parent has done. This parent has used my child, our child, to gain monetary means, money from people, not through sex, but through soliciting on the streets, asking, begging for money, going to churches, different organizations, and running hustle, stealing from stores with the child in their possession and telling them that it was okay, or that to be quiet about it, things of that nature. This person has drank excessively in front of the child and also has smoked pot in front of the child. This person has put this child in danger, has had this child out in the dangerous heat. I live in Texas, so when this individual had her during the summer and it was out of my control, he's had her in the heat and not cooling off. She's gotten sick several times because of that. She has also had staph infections because this individual, when she was younger, took baths with her. That was addressed in court. It was also addressed with CPS, and the investigation didn't turn up anything. I'm still a little bit leery of that. I am mortified to think that this individual has done anything to their child. I honestly cannot sit here with a straight face and tell you that no, this individual hasn't done anything to my child, but I cannot prove it, nor is my child coming forward and saying anything. And I hope to God that he has not done anything to my child. And that's a scary thought. I know it seems crazy to think this, but this individual's done so much. He has parent napped the child, taken her for a summer where he has been homeless. He is a notorious addict, alcoholic. He has said that he is. He knows he does not have the financial means to take care of his child, but yet he would still enforce his rights. I never gave my child up voluntarily if I knew that that person at the time was under the influence. I've always had him snatch her up. I've had this individual lie, steal. I've had this individual tell me that they were going to bring her back at a certain time and never bring her back, or bring her back when he was ready. I've had this individual say, I don't celebrate Christmas, but yet would take her for a part of her winter break and say, I'm not bringing her back, and she would miss Christmas with us. It is, he says that he's Jewish, but yet he would go to a Jewish Christian church. Whoever would give him money or the time of day. He's run hustle on his family, and he has run hustle including his mother, sisters, brothers, aunts, uncles. He's run hustles. He is too old to be doing this. He will either die or go to jail and die in jail, or he will get better and become a better man for himself and for his daughter, which I'm hoping he'll take the latter path. But he's also manslaughtered somebody. He's been in the car driving under the influence, and he's killed a man and taken this man away from his wife and children. He's manslaughtered somebody. Didn't get charged with this, slipped through the cracks. Shame on the police for that. Slipped through the cracks, got away with it, but he killed somebody. Manslaughter. Not murdered, but he manslaughtered this person while he was under the influence, and that person was a passenger in the car. He under the influence, heavily under the influence. And what's scary is that after that, when I was swayed by family members to go and let my daughter visit her father and the aunt, his sister, that she was high and she had back problems, but I don't think she had back problems. She was high. I didn't know this at the time, how high she was. And then he was high, and he offered to drive the car. And he has a really bad record of driving really poorly, and I said absolutely go somewhere and disappear and do his drugs and do whatever and live his life without involving my daughter in it. But unfortunately, he does not want to go away, and he does not want to disappear. And I said absolutely not. And he got arrested the next day, and he didn't remember that day at all. So he would have been driving me and my daughter in the car, and I could only imagine if we got in an accident, he could have killed both of us. Who knows? Who knows what could have happened? He pulled a knife on me at the restaurant. He has been in a restaurant and brought in his own beer without me knowing, cracked the beer open and thrown the beer cans under the table. He has walked away from the table. I don't know if he's paid. This individual has a long record with selling and doing drugs and selling drugs. He's been caught several times with drugs. There's a record of that, and he's now been charged with theft. So it's not getting better for this individual, and I pray that it does, because me holding angst against him is not good for my daughter. And I don't want, honestly, if he was to die, I would not shed a tear. I would shed a tear for my daughter, because I know she loves her father, and I want her to have a relationship with her dad, but I want a healthy relationship with the father. And being under the influence, coming up to her school and being high and being drunk or acting weird is not the best. It's not a good way to present yourself in front of your child. So you're like, oh my God, you know, why did you sit down and lay down and have a child with this man? I laid down and had a child with this man not knowing enough information. I didn't know about his past. I didn't know about his credentials. I didn't know that he was under the influence like that. He was not as bad as he was. Now that I'm looking back on it, he was not bad as he was then. He never did any drugs in front of me. He did tell me he smoked marijuana, but that was it. And now looking back at it, I really wish I had have been smarter about it and not have chosen him. But in that same breath, I got my daughter, and she's beautiful, and I don't regret it. So I try not to say that I regret it. I just wish that I just got stuck with Crazy Town with him. Anyway, what I did was I took his ass to court. It took years, because I didn't really know what was going on, and different things were going on. We were in court back and forth a lot, and I was naive, and I was new to the system. Don't be afraid. Embrace the system. Learn the system. Talk to lawyers. If you've got the money to get a lawyer, lawyer the hell up. Talk to lawyers. Sit down and pick their brain and see how the system works and what's going to happen, and be involved and say, this is what I want. Get the evidence. You collect the evidence. You document things. Keep a journal. He was high. He acted high. He did this. He did that. That, and some courts can be submissible. It'll show that you've been keeping an eye on things. It'll show that you're serious about it. Call the police. If this person has stole something from you, but you don't want to get the baby's mama, baby's father, the legal guardian in trouble, don't see it like that. See it as, this is the chance to document, and this is the chance to say that I'm serious. Because alcoholics and drug addicts, to get their next high, to get drunk, they'll say whatever they can to get their hustle on, to get what they want from you. Whether that is to get extra time with their child, whether it's that to use that child to get monetary value, whether that is to play mind games with you in order to make their life easier, they will do that. I've had this individual lie to me several times, and every day, anytime he talks to me, which is hardly rare, he's a liar. He's a liar. He's the con artist. That's how I see it, and I don't want to be involved with that. You see your daughter, you act appropriate, you come to my house, you leave at the appropriate time. I will call the police, and he is fully aware of that I will have not a problem calling the police. I'm not alone, so I do have somebody else here with me when he's visiting the child. It's scary, because I wouldn't put anything past this individual, including rape, including being physical or anything like that. I'm not scared for my safety, but I wouldn't put it past this individual, because the rabbit hole is falling. This individual is falling deeper into the rabbit hole, and he's not trying to grab on any branches to stop himself from falling. So I'm just trying to prevent as much damage as possible. I did get supervised visitation. I was lucky enough to where the individual was so high and so under the influence that they didn't remember the court date, and everything that I was asked for was granted. The person has to be served. The paperwork has to be put in their hand that they have been served. And if they miss that court date, whatever you're requesting will be granted. So just be prepared for that. Be prepared to fight for your child. I know it's draining. It's draining for me right now, but say, if I don't do this, my child is in danger. He or she is really in danger, and this protects you, this protects the child, this protects their future. Because if this child is around the parent that's under the influence, guarantee you that the child has a higher chance of becoming alcoholic, a drunk or whatever, because they've seen their parent act this way. And if they feel like you're not, you know, your children depend on you to protect them, and if you don't protect them, or they feel like they're not being protected, that's going to be some really bad outcomes. So I'm teaching my daughter how to love her father, but be aware, but be cautious of him, that to pray for him to get better. And I don't tell him that he's on drugs. I just say that he is not in his right state of mind. And it really is true, because drugs and alcohol affect the brain. And I'm not saying, oh, you should never have a drink or whatever in your life. Yeah, but to drink, to become drunk is a whole total situation, or to escape the reality is not good. Emotions. And that's how a lot of people become under the influence, is dealing with stress, dealing with emotions. Yes, it's painful, yes, it's hard, but if we deal with it, when we face it, we can disperse it. And it's not, and as bad as you think it is, it ends up becoming better once you do something about it and get the help and the support that you need. And that's what this individual hasn't learned. He's too old to be playing. He's just too old. I don't think there's no turning back for him, but there is hope, and I hope and I wish for him the best. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm sorry about the background. This is draining. I'm literally drained from this, talking about this. Is really painful. This is really a hard subject, but I want somebody to learn from this. And don't be stupid like me, that there's funny signs, like they're jittery, they're sweating all the time, they're losing weight, they're going through your stuff, they're asking you, say, oh, my back hurts, do you have a pain pill? And then they come back the next day and say, you know what, I need a pain pill, do you have another pain pill? That's a sign that they might be addicted to pills. And if they ask you that, if they tell you that they'll pay for it, if they tell you that they'll pay for your pills but they haven't paid for their child support, that's a definite huge sign that there's something going on in cuckoo land. If they're telling your child weird beliefs and weird things, that's a sign that something's not right. They got a chemical imbalance, or they might be under the influence of something. If they are out, if your child is soliciting money on the street, or knows how to solicit and knows how to hustle, that's a good sign that something's not right. So it might not be drugs, it could be just mentally a chemical imbalance. But anyway, I hope that helps somebody. I will see y'all back soon. Gotta answer my phone. Talk to you later. Bye.